Look at Russel Brand's face here. It's like you can feel it.
If you're going to campaign, then stand. Do it. You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
Which of these two people is right? The screeching blue-haired woman or this British citizen? We are watching the transformation of Russel Brand. And I'm a Russel Brand fan.
Having a proper immigration policy is the answer.
Right.
This is a rare glimpse into his life 9 years ago. Looking at this, you can really see the journey that has occurred.
There is a sense that there is a corrupt group in our country using our resources, taking away our jobs, taking away our housing, not paying taxes, exploiting us. And there is an economic elite that this man's party is funded by. He is a pound shop Enoch Powell, and we got to watch him.
Nigel Farage, is he the British Trump? And could he create a Trump-like surprise?
Something must have changed. I understand his sentiment is the same.
Immigrants are not causing the economic problems and suffering we experience.
You haven't answered this lady's question. Do you think Britain's overcrowded and there is a strain on public resources and people's quality of life?
We need more money for public resources.
Well, where's it going to come from?
It's not overcrowded. It's going to come... I'm so glad you asked, mate.
He's got flashcards. I don't think necessarily Russel Brand, his opinion on this topic has necessarily changed. I think it's his larger frame with which he views the topic has evolved. I think that's why people enjoy watching him. He's nuanced. It's that space between black and white. It's never one thing or another, which ties into the sponsor of this video. Ground News is the biggest source for breaking news around the world. Compare headlines from across the political spectrum. What we do know as a fact is that last year, immigration in the UK reached a record high. So using Ground News, we are able to analyze this from an objective standpoint. Reading this on Ground News, I can access nearly 100 articles published on immigration in the UK. Subheadlines employ charged phrases, things such as one nation, open borders, directly blaming the Conservative government for the crisis in immigration. Others use empathetic language such as horrendous, also directly attributing blame. It's also interesting to note that of the sources covering this, most are rated highly factual, indicating they have minimal sensationalism in their printed reporting. Not only that, you can see where the funding for these news sources are coming from, which obviously is going to attribute to the bias. It's the only all-in-one-place app website that will allow you to do this. So go to ground.news/Smith or scan my QR code. My link will get you 50% off their top-tier Vantage plan. It's a really remarkable tool that I'm using more and more myself, and I'm very proud to promote them on this channel. I think it is a solid product that is a net benefit. Anything that allows you to spot bias and to think more independently. Thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video.
It's the financial crash. Banker bonuses have exceeded £80 billion. George Osborne, your Chancellor, campaigned to stop caps being placed on banker bonuses. At the same time, there were austerity cuts against the poorest among us, the disabled, people that we need to be looking after. We need to close tax loopholes which are exploited by big corporations. There's money. I've got money now. I've seen rich people. There's plenty of money out there. It's just not being distributed.
In this interaction, Russel Brand sounds like today's liberal. We need more government money for public resources, more government support for public resources. There's not an issue around the impact of illegal immigration on the economy and a shortage of resources.
Yes. And I don't like people preaching that I am any part responsible for anything. I've never heard him criticised the disabled.
I never have.
Okay? Never. Okay? And you are a campaigner. Yeah? I'm going to go back to the last question. Please let me finish.
Mate.
Stand. Stand for Parliament. If you're going to campaign, then stand. Okay?
I can understand this gentleman's frustration because it seems that he is preaching and just saying, look, he's addressing the easy points. Look, I hate poverty. Everyone, we need to be caring for one another. This is the voice of England, like this type of individual where he's like, don't preach to me. You don't know what I'm going through.
Okay, Okay, you have the media profile for it. Do it.
My problem would be, mate, I'd stand for Parliament, but I'd be scared that I'd become one of them. I know what side of the argument.
No, I'm sorry. You've full addiction and you've beaten it, okay?
He makes a remarkable point here. He's like, look, you've beaten addiction, so you cannot preach that. Take responsibility.
You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
You can't claim the system is broken and everyone's doing it wrong and then say, but I don't want any part of it because I might become one of them.
You cannot preach that.
I'm not preaching.
Well, you are. You've attacked him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And you've attacked him, and you've attacked everybody that stands for his party.
I do.
We're trying.
I'm sorry.
I'm not attacking people
they are
that-
people on the street.
But I'm just going to sit here on the sideline and benefit from it and take the easy path and hit the I hate poverty. If you're going to criticize the world, then offer an alternative plan.
Oh, are they? Rubbish.
They're not racist for pointing out these issues. It's remarkable how this echoes the climate that we have today.
Rubbish. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's the general public that are standing for him.
A literal blue-haired screeching progressive pops up out of the woodwork and in the shadows and starts pointing her finger. Are you kidding? How is this real?
Trying to blame immigrants for the cutbacks because of his rich.
Let's just break that down for a minute. A racist scumbag trying to blame immigrants for his rich friends. All the talking points that we hear today.
You've got some voters here, mate. You ought to stand. I mean, these are your voters.
God, look at Russel Brand's face here. It's like you can feel it. He knows. It's like he can feel that he's gotten this wrong.
I'm coming for you, bro.
They're lovely people.
It's almost as though he has this internal dialogue. Which of these two people is right? The screeching blue-haired woman or this British citizen? Did I get this wrong?
Behave yourself over there.
The point I want to make to Russell is that you say you claim to sort of stand up for the working classes, but you've got to understand that it's the working classes that have been hit the hardest by immigration, mass immigration. You know, wage compression, the change in communities over a short period of time.
Everything this guy just said seems logical.
You've got to appreciate that actually, you know, it's all right to say, you know, criticising UKIP and Nigel Farage, but actually it's the people at the bottom of society that have been hit the hardest by immigration.
They're claiming that the scale of immigration is affecting the population in England, which you have to keep in mind is a small country. Geographically, look at it on the map, it's small. These citizens are vocalizing the concern, the economic impacts of that immigration.
I'm telling you, mate, honestly, I come from the same community as you come from. I've been very lucky and I've had a few breaks and I've got a few quid now. And I'm telling you that immigration has always been happening. What happened in 2008 was very unique. If I thought, my friend, I swear to you, if I thought, listen, try this for 2 years, turn your focus to corruption in the city, turn your focus to apathetic politicians, turn yourself to the corruptions going on there.
It's easy to say, but what does that look like? Now Russel Brand is doing that with his work on the podcast. He is actually attacking corruption where it is.
And if in 2 years' time your life ain't got better, campaigning against the people that have wealth and power, not those that have very little, if it's still the same, I'll come with you and campaign. But I'm telling you, I know where the power is, I know where the money is, I know what we've got to do.
But what he's claiming here feels more like talking points. I don't know what any of this means. He has since gotten specific, and I'm a Russel Brand fan. So I think he's a smart, articulate guy who's a net positive